Fourth grade class when I was just 8, my teacher asked with a smile so quaint, "Mary, what country are you from?" And she spun the globe like she was dumb, but deep down she was a hunter laying bait. My peers turned their faces all in wait. Unwanted spotlight turned my face plumb. I froze in place, but then succumbed, embarrassed to be so strange to them, intimidated to feel so wrong to them. I heard them all, the names they called, they didn't make sense, but their claims and games still caused harm and offense, disarmed my confidence. Yeah, I was raised on an island of long white bread suburbia, where they gloated in grand white bread superbia. From that day forward, I was known as King Tut, confused as how that was an insult. So outrage, it didn't cross my mind. I shrugged and said it was fine. But I should have cried and I should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. In third grade, the text rushed the tale of how one man's discovery prevailed. I'm pretty good with words, but then, oh wait, what does discovery mean again? I questioned and wondered how it applied. No mention of plunder or that it's all lies. My first best friend was of Indian descent. More slings of slurs came and went without relent. From that day forward, they would call her Gandhi. And how they thought that bad was beyond me. So outrage, it didn't cross our minds. We shrugged and said it was fine. But we should have cried and we should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. In fifth grade, there was Joe, just to make me feel small. With a word of hate, a word meant to maul the worst of them all. I questioned and wondered how it applied, and saw aggression asunder, allowed it astride. And strained with the pain, my 10-year-old brain asked, am I an us or a them? I couldn't say. I pondered the plunder of peaceful calm, now disrupted by this us or them qualm. But outrage, it still didn't cross my mind. I shrugged and said it's fine. But I should have cried and I should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. And comb your hair was what I heard the day when I set free my curls. My mom and aunt in blunt repose, each in turn turned up their nose. Yeah, I was 12 and used to laugh that curly heads are just worth half. Not that I knew the force it wield. From mouths of babes is truth revealed. But outrage, it didn't cross my mind. I shrugged and said, that's fine. But I should have cried and I should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. And back in history high school classes, we read that text with fairy tale glasses, vexed and perplexed at the mess of their burden. 3/5 a person, what a moral perversion. From property to second-class citizen, no real repair, with necessary evil like pollution in the air. And abolition can't pass as absolution, with no real healing care. Where's the restitution? So outrage, it might have crossed my mind, but I shrugged and said, it'll be fine. But I should have cried and I should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. My dad came here in 1966, changed his name for all the ignorance. My mom faced this country at just 19, harassed for her accent by future ice queens. A friend once asked me how it felt, living in the margin with no seatbelt. I looked at him hard and funny for a beat. Well, you're tan and not a man, so what does that spell? Now outrage, it started to cross my mind. Would I shrug? Was this fine? No, I should have cried and I should have tried, because I can't understand this murderland. Things started taking shape at last, that the tint of my skin might have shaped my past. When a man pale and grim compost will brandish a "you people" down his nose. When a woman thinks a weapon to call the police, like that should send me to fearful retreat. With zealous menace in her teeth, she drew the false threat from its sheath. Now outrage, it crossed my mind. I wouldn't shrug, this wasn't fine. But could I cry? Could I try? How could I understand this murderland? And now in a state so west and mid, I live on a pale and pasty grid. I can't fail to see contrast. I hate for it to be combat, but to ignore it as another 8 minutes. And evil succeeds if we don't break limits. So outrage, it must cross my mind. No, I won't shrug. It's not fine. And I've cried, but now it's time to try to march and stand against the murder in this land.